Hey, I'm Michael, and this is Michael in the Middle. It's an intergenerational relational podcast for people who are interested in better human interaction. I'm glad you're here. Hey, friends of Michael in the Middle. It's good to be back with you on this glorious and beautiful spring day. As I'm recording, it is May the 4th, and may it be with you. As a lot of people like to say on this day. But in all seriousness, it's good to be back with you. I've taken a couple of weeks away from producing podcasts, and I'm flying solo today on purpose. A couple of things I wanted to share. In the aftermath of my mother-in-law's brief illness at the end of her life and her ultimate passing on April the 17th, my wife and I have been busy with a lot of things related to that. And, it's been a precious time in many respects. My mother-in-law was born on July 31st, 1922. She was almost 101 when she passed. Her body was tired and she was ready to go. We had a wonderful time celebrating her amazing life, on a beautiful Wednesday a week ago. And so any tears that have been shed are mostly just tears of gratitude and really in celebration of how well she lived her life. It's also been a reminder that time is passing quickly. My wife and I have benefited greatly from having our parents around us for so long. Her dad died on May 25th of 2021. My mom died on Wednesday night before Thanksgiving of 2021, which I believe would have been November the 24th. Homer Adams was almost 100 years old himself at the time of his passing. My mom was a healthy and vibrant 85. Her passing was very sudden. So we've dealt with life and death in a lot of ways in our own family here over the last couple of years, especially having Sarah's parents in our home. But it's been a privilege for us to be able to do what we've done, to be a part of our parents' lives in their old age. My father is still alive and kicking, so to speak, at 86, and we get to spend a good bit of time together each week, for which I'm very grateful. As we embark on reestablishing a little rhythm here with Michael in the Middle, I'm going to share something that I've written recently and maybe have a couple of more comments afterward. And it does have to do with how we process our feelings about things in life that seem to have some sort of finality, but also it's about feelings that we share about what our future is going to look like and how we're going to deal with that. And as you know, if you've been a part of the process with me here on Michael in the Middle, you know that I am always rooting for a better day for all of us. And so without any further delay, I'm gonna read something that I wrote earlier this week. Maybe you've already seen it on social media. It's on my blog at Michael Tal J on WordPress. But here we go. On Monday night of this week, would have been May 1st, Sarah and I attended a special evening dedicated to educators in the aftermath of the Covenant School shooting here in Nashville. There's been a different feeling in this town. Nashville has often been referred to as a big, small town. Although it's getting a little too big for its britches these days, Music City still comes together in some pretty powerful ways, and this past Monday night was no exception. I'm sharing about this event in particular for a couple of reasons. First, the event was free to anyone associated with education. My wife saw an article in the Sunday Tennessean uh, uh, telling about this opportunity that was being made available to educators. Um, One just had to go online and register for tickets to the event. The title sponsor was a group called the Onsite Foundation, and I encourage you to check them out. They seem to be a wonderful organization. The opportunity to hear the likes of Lauren Daigle, Tyler Hubbard, CeCe Winans, and Trisha Yearwood, perform some of their music was reason enough to go. But there were also numerous speakers at the event who shared wonderful insights on mental health, especially for teachers. Among the most poignant of guests were 5 female members of the faculty from Douglas High School in the Miami area who had survived the horrific mass shooting that took place there, where 17 people were killed. You probably remember hearing about that awful event. These ladies shared their memories of shock and pain, but they also reminded everyone that life, though it will never be the same, can still be embraced and that joy can still be found. Seated in a reserved section just in front of us was a contingent of faculty and staff from Covenant School. It was almost surreal to observe their reactions to the different portions of the program. And we can only imagine all of the feelings that they were processing. But when CeCe Winans sang The Goodness of God and was later joined by Lauren Daigle on Believe for It, these covenant people led the crowd in hands that were alternately raised in praise and also in wiping tears. It was an amazing moment. Later, as Trisha Yearwood sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow, the iconic photo of the rainbow sky over Covenant's campus that many have seen was a brilliant reminder that God is with us even in our darkest hours. The second reason for writing at this particular time lies in all the feelings that we've been processing since the passing of Sarah's mother. When a person lives to be 100 or more, their death cannot be a surprise. The surprise actually comes in that they lived for so long, and B, lived long and well. Sarah and I have talked about how suddenly different life is now that Miss B no longer makes her way to the kitchen table for her morning regimen of cinnamon raisin toast and a half a glass of milk and a cup of orange juice, or to watch her make her way to the sofa to take in Gaither homecoming videos and maybe in these later months a home what would it be, the Hallmark Channel has some of those sweet movies that she liked to watch. So we are now freer after her passing to come and go at our own pace to events such as I'm describing here that we attended on Monday night. But with that freedom, we're also aware of the passage of time in our own lives. Like, we're asking questions now. How long will we live? What are the things we would most like to accomplish in the years we have left? Whose lives can we pour into now? Recently, my dad and I took a day trip down to Georgia to see our oldest grandson play baseball. My dad and I were talking about some of these things as we traveled. He's 86, and although his body is challenged, his mind is still very keen. On the ride home, we talked about what has meant the most to him during his 86 years. And in almost every case, my daddy, Talmadge Johnson, talked about people and moments he specifically remembered, moments that he specifically remembered, as each person was mentioned. He was a pastor by vocation, but he was also a great friend to so many, and he has led our family in a great way to know deeply what it means to invest in relationships with other people. So here's what I believe. I believe that the river that runs through our lives, connecting us in times of joy and pain, obviously can flow swiftly at points, quietly in others, but always through the relationships that we develop with people. If your view of others is led by suspicion, It shouldn't be any surprise that the river of life is often threatening. If, however, you seek to find the best in people, even though they will occasionally disappoint you, there can be moments of great triumph. Feelings can be fleeting, but that doesn't negate their significance. In all of life's challenges these days, I hope you feel like there is still hope for a better day. Invest in the feelings that bring hope and know that someone is pulling for you to experience that even when you can't see it for yourself. I hope to be that kind of person in your life, whether we know each other personally or not. I want to be a part of a movement that seeks a better day and that seeks a better way to create relationships that matter and that give life rather than take it. Michael in the Middle is all about finding ways to get out there in the middle of doing something good for someone else. Because as you have heard me say time and again, if you've been with us at all, I believe that there is a better day coming, and I believe that we can be a part of making that happen for someone else. When you make a difference in someone else's life, it makes a difference in your own as well. That's all I have for this particular episode. I hope it's a word of encouragement for you, and I hope that you offer a word of encouragement to someone else before this day or night is over. Be well.